All right, welcome to part 2 of 17.2. So what if we were asked to find, here's our unit circle again. What if we were asked to find the cosine of 150 degrees? Well, we just look up on our unit circle over here. It's going to be about like that. So this is 150 degrees here. But this, we're not going to make a triangle with this. We're going to make our triangle going down to the x-axis. Right there. This is what's called our reference. This is called our reference angle. What angle completes that? When you just take this point, go down to the x-axis, that's our reference angle. Sometimes they're the same. Sometimes if they're over here, if your line's over here, it's going to be the same as your angle. If your line's over here, then we got to fill it in. Well, 150 plus what is 180? Well, that's 30. And we have another 30, 60, 90 degree triangle here. And this is a side length of 1. We can fill in our other sides. Just looking at our chart, the angle across from 30 is 1/2. And the angle across, the side across from 30 is 1/2. The side across from 60 is root 3 over 2. Okay, so if we're asked to find the cosine of 150, then we take adjacent over hypotenuse. Adjacent is next to over hypotenuse, which is just 1. So this is going to be root 3 over 2. And we have found the cosine of 150 degrees without using a calculator. This is the exact answer of it. Okay, usually if you just type this into your calculator, you'd get a decimal answer. You're welcome to check it. Do root 3 over 2 in your calculator. And make sure that will be in degree mode in just a moment. Square root 3 equals, and then divided by 2, so 0.866. Okay, and then let's do cosine mode. My mode is in degrees. Cosine of 150, we get negative 0.866. It is negative because this distance right here is not positive. This distance is negative, so we need to put the negative sign on there. Okay, so this should be negative here. And just for fun, let's also do the cosine of 5 pi over 6. Go ahead and switch your calculator into radian mode. On a TI-83, just hit mode. And then select radians. And then type in cosine 5 pi. Pi is second exponent. Divided by 6. And we get, surprise, surprise, negative 0.866. Okay, so pretty cool. Pretty straightforward how this works. So we've done a cosine. Why don't we do a sine going down into, this is quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, quadrant 4. Let's do a sine going down into quadrant 3. X and Y, and I will erase these over here. Let's do the sine of 5 pi over 4. Okay, if you're asked to find the sine of pi over 4, calculate this without a calculator. Figure out what this will be. Well, what I would do is I would go down to here, and I would see it's in the middle. So this is going to be one of our 45, 45, 90 triangles. And this is 5 pi over 4. And we can look back at our chart here. We know that our hypotenuse is 1, so we know that each side is root 2 over 2. And we have to pay attention to our signs here. This is going to be negative root 2 over 2 because we're going to the left, and negative root 2 over 2 because we are going down. All right, sine of 5 pi over 4. We opposite over hypotenuse, opposite over hypotenuse. Opposite is negative root 2 over 2 over 1. So this is going to be negative square root of 2 over 2. And we are done. Dun, 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 dun. All right. So hopefully this is clicking. This is the same thing as sine of 225 degrees. Also equals negative root 2 over 2. And we could call this actually the sine, find a coterminal angle that's negative. We could call this 360 minus 225. And we get 5 here, 135. We could call this the sine of negative 135 degrees. That would be perfectly acceptable. Okay, we want to do one tangent one. Somewhere down here, let's do 11 pi over 6 just because it looks difficult. There is our 90-degree angle and 11 pi over 6. We're going to do tangent of 11 pi over 6. This is going to be our 30-degree angle, our 60-degree angle. Look at our reference chart here. We know our radius is 1 because we are on a unit circle. Across from the 30-degree angle is 1/2. And across from the 60-degree angle is root 3 over 2. Pay attention to our signs. Are they positive or negative? Well, this is going to the right. X is positive. This is going down. Y is negative. So tangent of 11 pi over 6 is opposite over adjacent. So starting at the 30, opposite negative 1/2. And I'm going to write my divide by like this. Simplifies the algebra. Divide by the adjacent side, which is root 3 over 2. And this becomes tangent of 11 pi over 6 equals negative 1/2 times root 3 times 2 over root 3. And this equals negative 1 over root 3. Sometimes they don't like to write their square roots in the denominator. So we're going to multiply this by root 3 over root 3. I'm going to get negative root 3 over 3. And that would be the tangent of 11 pi over 6. So the key for unlocking all of these is having these handy to be able to reference these. This is your key for doing all of these by hand. Okay, we'll have one more video.